Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Nature's People. Today, I'm going to talk about an interesting topic, which is why did the U.S. carve down European immigration in the last decades. Let's say, for instance, the last 40 years or the last 4 decades. Now I would like to say that the U.S. has been a country of immigrants. It has always thrived on immigrants, on immigration. And this has always been sort of a source of a continuous economic workforce, and also sort of a source of talent, of bright individuals that come and add some value to the country and make it better, make it more prosperous, more dominant, and more robust. So first and foremost, I'd like to start with an article here. I have it here in my phone. I don't know if you guys can see it. It says there were a record of 44.8 million immigrants living in the US in 2018, making 13.7% of the nation's population. This represents more than a fourfold an increase since 1960. 9.7 million immigrants lived in the U.S., amounting to 5.4 of the total U.S. population. With that being said, U.S. had a threshold of nearly 15% in the 60s of immigrants. So the current immigrants, non-born U.S. Residents or people staying there, were so high that I think it was 9.8 million. So many immigrants. However, one fun fact about that is that 84% of them were from Europe. And now that begs the question, what happened? Why did the US shift from having European immigrants onto having Mexicans and then Latin Americans and then Asians and Africans? Okay, to explain that, I would have to explain on the economic factors. Without no doubt, U.S. always, when it comes to immigration, U.S. always prioritized economic migrants. A lot of people say, for instance, that Canada is better than the U.S. because I think 68% of the immigration system of Canada, the express entry or the family reunion stuff, it's really economic in nature, and it's not draining in let's say the family members of those migrants and not giving that much opportunity. However, the U.S. does the opposite. One thing I have to explain about the immigration in the U.S. The U.S. has a broad spectrum of talents and workforce and people to train it. Okay, starting right from the bottom, it's like a bottleneck system starting from the bottom up. It first starts with the blue collar jobs. You're talking about agriculture. Agriculture in the U.S. Makes up for 5% of the economy. And a lot of people say, but why don't Americans start importing food instead of having foreign workers come and plow the land? First and foremost, the American citizens won't do these. Those are not even blue-collar jobs. They're little low-tier, low-quality jobs, very labor-intensive, very demanding, very stressful under the sun and scorching sun, very difficult. So there have to be immigrants that are sort of low skills as far as education attainment, as far as enlightenment, not necessarily enlightenment, sorry for that term, but less skills, like simple skills, just be able to plow the land and work the land and get the food for Americans to eat. You talk the agriculture sector of the U.S. makes a lot of money, and the U.S. exports a lot of corn, a lot of food products. If I'm not mistaken, the U.S. is the second producer in the world of food, behind China. However, I think it's the largest exporter of many products, things like corn, a lot of derivatives. Anyways, walking past that point, I also have to mention that the higher you go on the scale, the higher the quality of immigrants the U.S. draws in, and that has a lot of implications and repercussions. Has in the sector of the country that has more higher jobs to pay, higher wages, higher responsibilities, higher sets of skills, are so competitive and so low in availability that the US is really selective. Okay, I'll be more precise. When you talk about the IT sector, Silicon Valley, the Silicon Valley is responsible for bringing out startups. A lot of IT engineers are required, to build up new systems, to work on investigations, to build microchips. The microchip thing going on with TSMC in Taiwan, the Taiwan-China thing going on down there. So the US needs a lot of productivity, needs to, solidify that power, make better microchips, make better products, make better devices, make, new inventions and whatnot. And what does that have to do with European immigration? The thing is, guys, for the past 20 or 30 years, Europeans are not really able to compete with the US as far as, bringing up talent and educating their citizens and having them make the stuff. And with that being said, you'd see the CEOs of companies like Google being run by Indian citizens. You'd see, major HB1 holders, the visas the US assigns for people with high skills is for quote unquote less developed countries. That is because less developed countries really bring people with not only the talent per se, but it's for the drive, the motivation, and that momentum to make things done. So that's why the US is really sharing the possibilities for immigration for people that are very productive and are showing results. It's basically on results. And some people would say, why is that happening? I thought like US was a country of the free. There was no racism. This has nothing to do with racism. It has to do with economic productivity. That's all. And now moving on to an interesting topic that I need to share here before finalizing my video is going down my phone. I have this really interesting chart that shows, you see here, you have US immigrants by population from 1960 till 2018. You have Mexicans were really rising from the 1960s till the 2000s after they later falling down. And then you have the Latin Americans, you have the Asians, and look at the amount of how the European population dropped. It was 84% here. The data says it says in 1960, 84% of immigrants living in the US were born in Europe, Canada, and North American countries. While 6% were from Mexico, 4% from Asia, and 3% from okay, I was lost in that, and other countries, other areas. Now it differs drastically. Now we have a population of 13% in 2018. Asians 28%, Mexicans 25%, and other Latin Americans 25%. To finalize this video, the reason why this happens is because the US has a lot of factories, a lot of manufacturing jobs. Just last year there were like 12 million job openings, and to most of these jobs, I think near near a share of 7.2 million of them jobs were for manufacturing, on-hand jobs, infrastructure, warehouses and all that. So it was a service-based jobs. So that's why the US needs this type of immigrants to sort of run the economy, because up top there everything is secured. The talent really required is not in high volume because of high productivity and an effective output as far as goals are required. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned, better videos are coming. Thank you for tuning in. Please share, subscribe. As I promised, I'm building up a studio and everything will be all right. So thank you, bye for now.